So welcome back to the channel, and this time I'm doing a road trip in Germany, kind of an aviation based road trip, and today I'm at the Sinsheim Museum here to see the Tupolev 144.
Just like the Speyer Technik Museum I visited in my last video, this museum, the Sinsheim Technik, isn't specifically an aviation museum. It also has trains, bikes, cars, a U-boat and a Formula 1 exhibition too. But it's the only place in the West that you can see and visit a Tupolev 144, the Soviet Union's attempt at building a supersonic airliner to rival Concorde. Now, I've been fascinated by this aircraft for many years, and I've been wanting to come here to see it since I found out that Sinsheim had acquired one in 2001. Climbing up onto the roof, you appear right under the main landing gear of the Tupolev 144, with an Air France Concorde right behind it. We'll take a walk through it shortly, but this is all about photography. Museum photography is always a challenge, I think, because there are usually cluttered backgrounds. So I like to get my general shots first, then zone into details and arty looking shots. And I had a lot of fun playing around with the different angles around the Tupolev 144, capturing those details that make it such a unique aircraft. And then, in Lightroom, some of these shots work really well with some colour grading, vignettes, texture and clarity. Here's some shots. Now it's time to walk through the Tupolev. Climbing up the spiral stairs at the back of the aircraft, you pass the trailing edge of the massive delta wing and the exhaust nozzles of the starboard Kolosov RD-36 engines. This aircraft is actually a 144D model, a test bed for the D variant, which came out after the original design and the Tu-144S. It's the only Tupolev 144 on display outside of Russia, and it is the main reason I wanted to visit the Sinsheim Technik Museum in Germany. The Tupolev actually beat Concorde into the air by just a few months, and was in fact the first airliner to fly supersonic. Its development was rushed to beat the British and French Concorde into the air, and also to be in service in time for the 60th anniversary of the Soviet Union. With that in mind, you could argue that Tupolev used brute force over ignorance to make the 144 work with less sophisticated technology that was years behind the technology we had in the West. Whereas the British and French developed new technology, incredible engineering and elegance to solve the problem of high-speed supersonic flight and low landing speeds. For example, the sophisticated ogival delta wing of Concorde enabled it to take off and land at normal speeds and cruise efficiently when supersonic, whereas the less sophisticated wing of the Tupolev meant that 4 planes had to be added to assist with low-speed flight. You can see those small wings extended out at the front of the aircraft, and they would retract for high-speed flight. These 2 aircraft may look very similar to the casual observer, but there are some significant differences. Although Concorde was, I suppose, a commercial failure, those differences are the reasons why Concorde was a success and the Tupolev was a failure. The 144 is actually quite a bit bigger than Concorde, and its engines were more powerful. But unlike Concorde, which could fly in supercruise, more on this in a moment, this meant that the aircraft was hot and noisy inside and had a much more limited range than its European rival. And here she is, Concorde, an Air France production model mounted on the roof at Sinsheim just behind the Tupolev 144. Here's some shots of this incredible aircraft. Just look at how thin that wing is as I climb up into the back of Foxtrot Bravo. So earlier I mentioned supercruise. The passengers in Concorde were known for ripping through the sky faster than a speeding bullet from London or Paris to New York in luxury and comfort while sipping champagne. And that was due to Concorde's unique ability to supercruise. The Tupolev could only maintain supersonic flight with its afterburners lit, which meant a higher fuel consumption and therefore a limited range. Concorde, however, with its unique, advanced, digital variable geometry engine intake ramp design, which would provide a staggering contribution to the thrust of the engines, could fly without afterburners once up in the cruise, thereby reducing noise and fuel consumption and allowing for a greater range. And while the Tupolev was noisy inside, the noise, mostly coming from powerful air conditioners to counteract the heat build-up of supersonic flight, Concorde's fuel was used as a heat sink to absorb heat from the air conditioning and the kinetic heating from supersonic flight. Once we get up to the flight deck, you'll see the flight engineer's panel. A huge part of his job was to pump fuel around the aircraft at different stages of flight. Rather than use aerodynamics to trim the aircraft as the centre of gravity and centre of pressure changed at different speeds and weights, fuel was repositioned to place the centre of gravity in the position required, thereby allowing for the best possible aerodynamic efficiency. Something quite unique to Concorde. There's loads more to see and do at Sinsheim, so I'll leave you with a few final shots. Thanks for watching, and don't miss the next video when I visit and photograph the Dam Busters dams, the Ada, Mona and Sorpy. Bye for now.